We all know her, we all love her. Haley Pham, booktube icon. I've been watching her book content for a while now, and it got me wondering, can I really trust Haley Pham's book taste? Here's the thing, book taste is so subjective, and that becomes really obvious when you start to compare your favorite reads to someone else's. Some of Haley's 5-star reads I've absolutely loved, but others, not so much. In this video, I plan to find out once and for all if I can truly trust Haley Pham's book taste. So this week, I'm putting her 5-star reads to the test. Step 1 is to select 3 of Haley's 5-star reads. I've been looking through Haley's Goodreads for about 20 minutes now.
Y'all see that little black dot? That black dot on my head? What is that? Also, there's a strand of hair going across my forehead that is bugging me. So sorry.
I sorted her currently read books by rating, so all of her 5 stars went to the top, but I had a few requirements for them that helped me narrow them down. So my first requirement was obviously that it needed to be a 5-star read. My second requirement was that she actually left a written review. My third requirement was that it was actually available at my library, which honestly narrowed it down to so few books. And my fourth requirement was that I was actually interested in reading it, and luckily 2 of these books were actually already on my TBR, so that was super exciting. Hi, Jippy. The 3 books that I chose to read for this week's video are The Do-Over by Lynn Painter, Mad About You by Mhairi McFarlane, and The Rom-Commers by Catherine Sinter. Step 2 is to find the books, and for me that meant taking a trip to the library. But I did stumble upon an issue. It's true, I couldn't find the 3rd book that I was looking for, but I'm taking it as a sign because this is a contemporary romance and this is a YA romance, so I feel like that's a lot of romance for one video. So I was thinking I would either read The Ministry of Time or Red Rising. Both of those are completely different, so I think it'll be a good book to read in between them. Let's see which one Haley raved about more. So Haley's review for Red Rising was a 5-star, and she said, yeah, read this. And that was in 2023. Haley's review for The Ministry of Time was 5 stars and she said no words. And I remember when she read this book, she was raving about it in her videos. So I do think she likes The Ministry of Time more than Red Rising. And she also left her review in 2024. So this is a more recent read. So I think that's gonna settle it. I'm gonna read Mad About You, then I'll start The Ministry of Time, and then I'll end with The Do-Over. Step 3 is to read the books. We're starting off strong with one of Haley's favorite reads, Mad About You by Mhairi McFarlane. On Goodreads, Haley rated this a 5 out of 5 stars and said, if you like books, then why haven't you read this one? So let's just say my expectations were very high going into this. Did you like your Cheeto? I'm here with a little update. I just got to chapter 7 thanks to the audiobook. I read the first chapter on my own. I was like, what's this weird vibe? And I looked it up and the author's British. So that's why there was like a kind of miscommunication between my interpretation of the words on the page. Like I was like, am I just not understanding something? I thought like, is this like a little prestigious? I don't know. But I looked it up and that makes so much more sense. So I switched to the audiobook and that made understanding the story so much easier. I don't know why, but just hearing a British woman say it, I'm just like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I get it now. We're good. The story's very entertaining and fun so far. I like it a lot. I'm only like 10% through. I probably won't update until like halfway. Hey guys, I'm about halfway through Mad About You. I'm actually 57% through the audiobook. I moved my bookmark, but I have not been reading the physical copy because of what I was talking about. So basically, my complaint was that it's British, which obviously that's not a big deal. Like it shouldn't be a big deal at all. I just feel like there's a lot more lingo and terminology in the book that I just don't understand as an American. So I'm feeling like some of the jokes aren't landing just because I simply don't have the capacity to understand in and relate to them. So that's not bad, or that's not the author's fault by any means. That's just a disconnect that I've personally noticed. Around 20% through, I was feeling like this would have literally been a DNF. Like, I was not feeling that invested in the characters in the plot. And since there's not a super strong romantic plot at the very beginning, and if anything, it's like a crumbling romantic plot, I was just feeling a little bit like, where is this going? I wasn't loving it, honestly. Like, I was feeling like maybe it's even a 2.5 stars. But I'm 57% through now, and I am interested to see where it's gonna go. There were 2 people at one point that I was like, is this gonna be like a love triangle type thing? Because there were 2 guys of interest in Harriet's life, I thought at least. But I just read the back and I understand now who was supposed to be the primary love interest, and now that I've read to 57%, I do understand. I'm just really not feeling a ton right now. So I hope that changes in the future. I'm definitely going to finish the book because at this point it's like a 3.5 stars right now. I don't hate it by any means. And there are definitely things that I like. For instance, her relationship with her best friend, that I love. Another thing I like is she wrote a letter to someone in the book, and that made me tear up. Like, it was a very heartfelt, emotional, vulnerable letter, and I really liked that. Because of this weird like misunderstanding I'm having with the book, I don't feel like it's gonna be anything higher than a 3.5, but I'm not giving up hope. So I'm going to continue to read after I film a video, then I'll be back to update you guys once I finish the book. I'm on the way to the gym listening to the audiobook and I'm literally crying. I'm really liking this book now. This is like a roller coaster, but I really like it a lot. Okay guys, I finished this book this morning at the gym. I have a lot to say about this. As you've probably seen through my updates, my emotions have been all over the place with this book. My main gripe is something that's kind of all-consuming. This book is not a romance book. I wish so badly that the author would hire a different graphic designer, because this makes you think you're about to read a fluffy, cozy, contemporary romance, like cutesy, not deep story, and that is not what's inside of here. Like, this cover does not adequately depict the depth at which the author explores the main character. Like, this guy is barely even in the book. Barely even in it, okay? So if those are your expectations based on this cover, completely throw them out the window before starting this book, or you'll end up rating this book a lot lower than you expected to, like I did. This book is definitely a women's fiction novel. We focus on Harriet and Harriet's relationships, her past relationships, her friendships, and her eventual partnership with Cal, who's mentioned on the back of the book, but it's very slight. We really don't get a lot of the romance on paper. If I were to tally up the amount of times that Harriet and Cal socialized, it's under 10, like maybe even 5. And that is just so upsetting for me. It honestly was giving series. Like, this was giving first book of a series, and then in the next book we would actually read about them getting together. But that's just not what I wanted. Like, I wanted them together and I wanted there to be banter and like fun, silly moments together. And I really feel like we didn't get that. If I wasn't reading for this video, I probably would have DNF'd the book, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm so happy I stuck through because it really did surprise me in the end. We're slowly transitioning into the good parts of the novel that I actually loved. I loved how flawed Harriet was as a character because it made her feel like a real person. In this book, we get to learn about her past trauma with her ex, and it explains so much about the person that she is in the present. I loved reading about her interactions with her best friend, and I also loved how witty not only Harriet is, but the author. A few times throughout the book, I found myself giggling. A little past halfway through in the read is when I really started being like, wait, this is bumping up on my star list. I think what really happened for me was that I just had to accept the fact that this is not a romance novel, that this is a women's fiction novel. And once I did that, I was able to completely enjoy the rest of the book. Another thing I loved about the book was how confrontational Harriet is. I genuinely loved that she would speak her mind in any and every scenario. Harriet has genuinely found her voice, and it was so incredible to hear her speak her mind, and especially to confront people that deserved to be called out. If it was a women's fiction novel where Harriet's just on the cover and it's very clearly a women's fiction novel, I probably would have given it 4.5, maybe 5 stars. But because it's a contemporary romance, and because I didn't really love their relationship because there wasn't enough of it to prove to me that they loved each other by the end, I'm going to give this book a Now that I finished this book, I'm moving on to The Ministry of Time. The only thing I know about this read is that the author explores a bunch of different genres within it. So I know there's romance, there's maybe historical fiction, some sci-fi. I have no clue what to expect, but I'm really excited and I hope I end up liking it. Let's pray. It's time for book 2, The Ministry of Time by Kaliane Bradley. Haley gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars and simply stated, no words. So naturally, I'm going into this book with the expectation that by the end, my jaw will be on the floor. And spoiler alert, it was on the floor, but for all the wrong reasons. Guys, I fear I do not care at all. I'm noticing myself zoning out as this audiobook is playing. I don't know what to do because I want to DNF it so bad. But what if I feel this way and then like later on I end up loving it? I don't know. I don't like it. Like, I really just don't like it. It's not my type of book, I think. It feels kind of literary fiction where we're like following somebody along, and I think there's definitely going to be a subplot of romance because we're seeing the FMC start to get feelings for the MMC, but that just feels so weird. The premise of the story is that there's time travel and they bring people from the past to the present timeline, and then someone kind of has to like babysit them into the world so that they can live on their own and see if there's any problems that occur from bringing someone from the past to the present. They took this man, Graham Gore, who was a real historical figure, and they've brought him to the present day. I'm not super loving the idea of a present day female and a past tense male who is brought to the future like falling in love. It just doesn't really make sense to me, and it feels weird. It's almost like he's a child in a way, like he has childish tendencies because he doesn't know like anything that's happening around him, obviously, and he is adapting. Apparently he's adapting the best of all the people they brought back, but it just feels so odd, and I'm like honestly zoning out as I'm listening to the audiobook. I'm not catching all the details because I'm just not interested. But I think the do-over is going to be a lot more my style. So I'm going to start this, and hopefully I like this one. I have an update about the Ministry of Time. I know this is unexpected because I said I was going to be moving into the do-over, but I kept listening to the audiobook, and at like over 50% through, so we're maybe like 55% through, there was a glimmer of romance, and I actually liked it. Like, I was into it. But then I didn't hear it again for like probably an hour more of the audiobook, so I genuinely was hating my life. And then I literally ran out of audiobook hours, so now I can't even listen to it if I wanted to torture myself. So I think I just need to actively DNF it, but I've never DNF'd a book ever before. I think what I'm going to have to decide to do is not try to finish it for this video, but maybe in the future I'm going to finish the book, because I just really am having a hard time DNFing a book that I'm already like 60 something percent through, because I obviously can't rate the book if I haven't finished it. So do with that what you will, but I'm so happy to have started the do-over. The last book is The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. This is the book I was most excited about. Haley, of course, rated this book a 5 out of 5 stars. And this was Haley's longest review yet. She said, "All of her books get a special 6-star rating in my heart because they're just another level. It's always bittersweet reading them because I love them so much immediately, and I don't get this magical feeling often. But we're 2 for 2 with her young adult romances so far. I don't want to pit her books against each other, but I can confidently say I loved this one just as much as better than the movies." Those are big claims, so let's see if I thought this book lived up to the hype.
I just wanna go out on a walk with you. Baby, you know I just like to talk with you.
I officially started the do-over. I am actively loving it right now. I started it last night, but I got over 50% of the way through, and then today I've already read a couple chapters, so I'm at 63%, and it's so freaking cute. And it's actually so funny because I was editing this video, and the way that my demeanor completely changes when I'm talking about a book I'm uninterested in versus a book that I'm actively loving, because when I was talking about the Ministry of Time, I literally seemed depressed. Like, my last update was like sad, but in this video I'm like actively happy to talk about this book because it's just so good. I'm enjoying it so much. I always take notes when I'm reading, and all of these notes have been positives. The only cons that I've written down is that she's super stuck up in type A, but that's literally me, so I'm just not liking something about myself. And then also that the love interest names are Nick and Josh, because that's my personal trauma. But everything else I'm loving. I'm literally giggling at it. I was giddy reading the pages. I almost cried 2 times, but it's because I love the main character so much, and the fact that her trauma is included makes me care about her so much more as a person. And their banter is just so cute, and for it to be a young adult, it's corny in some points. Like, obviously it would be hard to write a relationship without there being some corny moments, but it's really, really cute, and I'm actively loving reading this book. This book is about a girl named Emily who's dating her boyfriend Josh, who she thinks is so perfect for her. So when Emily wakes up on Valentine's Day, she cannot wait to have the perfect day with her boyfriend. But when she shows up to school and starts looking for Josh, she catches him in the act of cheating on her with his ex-girlfriend. So obviously this destroys her. She goes home from school early, and she ends up going to sleep at her grandmother's house. But whenever she wakes up the next morning, she's awake in her own bed and it's Valentine's Day again. So she basically gets to do over the entire day. But one thing is certain, she's going to see her boyfriend cheat on her again, and she's going to run into a boy named Nick who's from her chemistry class. They literally sit next to each other in chemistry. They're lab partners. But for some reason, he keeps pretending like he doesn't recognize her. But day after day, she keeps running into him, and suddenly she starts to feel like maybe they have something going on between them. Right now, my prediction is that this is going to be a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I would be so happy to be able to rate it that high. I'll probably finish it tonight, not even gonna lie, because I just really want the main characters together and I want to see how this ends. So I'll see you guys when I finish the book. I finished reading The Do-Over. It was so cute. I thoroughly enjoyed my reading experience, and I really don't have much to say that I haven't already said, so I'll keep this brief. I ended up rating the book just because it's YA and I'm just not a young adult anymore. I'm not the target audience, so it makes sense. But it obviously felt young because they're in high school and they fall in love rather quickly, which is a little bit bothersome to me because I don't experience, you know, the puppy love of being young anymore. I did like Better Than the Movies a touch more, but I still really enjoyed this book, and this was definitely my favorite that I read in this video. Step 4 is to rate them, rank them, and then decide once and for all, can I trust Haley Pham's book taste? I'm sure you guys can already guess my ranking, so if you can, leave it in the comments before I say it. But in first place, we have The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. I really enjoyed reading this book, and I ended up rating it 4 out of 5 stars. In second place, I have Mad About You by Mhairi McFarlane. I realized I've been saying her name wrong the entire video, so hopefully you guys didn't catch that, but her name's Mhairi McFarlane. But I ended up giving her book a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was cute and I liked it a lot, but I didn't love it. And in last place, The Ministry of Time by Kaliane Bradley. I just didn't like this book, so I had to DNF it. And because I'm DNFing it, I'm not gonna give it a rating. So, can I trust Haley Pham's book recommendations? Well, at the beginning of the video, I thought I would end with a solid yes or no answer, but after spending a week reading her favorites, here's what I realized. Haley has taste. Bold, emotional, literary, very specific taste. And while I don't perfectly match that, I think that's kind of the point. Book taste isn't about agreeing 100%. It's about learning what kinds of books you like and learning about which books can challenge you, surprise you, or teach you something unexpected. So do I trust Haley Pham's book taste? Not blindly, but enough to keep listening. Enough to pick up another one of her 5 stars and see where it takes me. If you made it to the end, let me know if you've read any of these books. Did you agree with me? Did you agree with Haley? Or did you not agree with either of us? If you like this video, consider giving it a like, and if you like me, consider subscribing. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye!